Hey there! Welcome back to the Mothcast, a podcast about video games and how a couple of moths feel about them. The game for episode 36 is called Cat Quest 1, a distinction because there is a Cat Quest 2 and 3 is coming out soon. This game is an isometric dungeon crawler where you play as a cat. Also, cat puns. So be sure to really cough up that furball and let's get into the podcast. Alright, the game this week is called Cat Quest. One, I guess, will make a distinction.
Cat Quest 1.
Yeah, because there is
there are
multiple games.
several.
Yeah, so Cat Quest 1. Definitely a very interesting, cute game, as one is when it has literally the word cat in the title.
Cat, obviously.
It is I guess you could say like an isometric kind of dungeon crawling,
like RPG-ish.
It's got there's a lot of elements in this game. I tell you what, you got like stats going on, you've got dungeons, you've got side quests,
equipment,
yeah, like spells. There's a ton of different things. It's described as an open world RPG set in the possum world of cats. Yeah, it's also very full of cat puns.
A lot of cat puns
everywhere. Like everything is a cat pun.
Literally,
basically.
That's all they say.
Like literally everything is a cat pun. Which is fine.
Yeah, it's a cat game.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. I bought this a long time ago personally, like way back when it came out. The first game did on the Switch. It was one of the first games I bought on the Switch because I saw somebody do a speed run of it, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool game. I like that. It looks neat." So I bought it and I just played it. So I have had this game. I have already played this game, but it's been like 6 years.
Yeah.
So I needed both a refresher and I kind of wanted to just play it again, you know? So yeah, moving right along, getting right into it. The graphics in this game, super
they're pretty good. They're stylized.
Yeah, I mean they're like super like cartoony. I feel like you could make like a comic book out of these characters because they're all like pretty similar. Almost to like a bad degree, I guess I would say. Because like most of the cats are just like the same like orange cat with a different hairstyle.
Yeah, true.
Which is pretty funny.
A different outfit. Like, what do you expect from like just side characters or like NPCs? You know?
Yeah, but I think it's like you and then like the governor from that one place where you get water walking, and like
that's true.
And like the big bad are all like those. Those are the only unique characters.
Yeah.
In the game, basically. Well, I guess now that I'm looking at it, the blacksmith girl is a bit different.
Oh, true.
A teeny tiny bit different than the other cats. She's got like her little hat on and blonde hair instead of like some weird variation of brown hair in their face. Yeah, I guess that's a little disappointing, but at the same time, as far as I know, the first game is made with a pretty small indie team, as is many games that we play. But I like genuinely think it was made with like 3 or 4 people. So like if those people wanted to spend their time on other things like making the game play really well, I'm not like super mad.
No,
about it.
Of course not. And the game does play really well.
Yeah, and I'd say that the vast majority of the characters are pretty adorable.
Yep, they're cats. What do you expect?
Yeah, I mean they're cats, like anthropomorphized cats, and yeah, it's quite an interesting. I feel like I've played other games that have a similar art style as this, but not quite. It's definitely more unique.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about one thing that's also unique in the graphics section and not the gameplay section. The game is majority played on the world map. Like,
Yeah.
you don't do your combat only in like dungeons.
No, you just fight.
Yeah, like the world map
No.
is, it looks like a paper map. Um
Yeah, yeah.
with like the drawn mountains, and like at
Mhm.
certain points there are like drawn like the little like state
Like
lines, I guess.
the world is like you would think of if you were to like open your map in a different RPG and it would look like that. That's what you play on.
Yeah. Um
That's what your entire game is.
and then every once in a while you're like, "Oh, look, a dungeon. Let's go inside." And then
Yeah.
you can go inside and you fight monsters, and uh I guess it's kind of annoying. I would say a lot of the dungeons are pretty homogenous. They're
Yeah,
pretty
they're
similar
just
to each other.
short little just like small caves that have a few enemies in and a chest.
Yeah, or two. uh
Yeah, I never bothered to get the key for
oh,
the
you
gold
did
one.
you didn't? Oh man, we'll have to talk about it. Yeah, that's
I
really
feel like you
unfortunate
get
for
it
you.
from I feel like you get it from Key Island, but I just never bothered.
You
It's
don't
like,
actually, but we'll
yeah,
talk about it.
whatever.
Um yeah, so the the dungeons are pretty weird. You like, they're all this like cave with the light as the entry and exit point.
Mhm.
And like I guess like for the purpose that they suit, they're fine. But I
Yeah,
do
it's
kind of
simple.
wish that they were a little bit more varied.
I
Um,
mean, they there were some other variations, like some of the ruins were different instead of just like regular caves.
yeah, actually, I guess now that I think about it, there's like blue cave, blue
Yeah,
color cave, and then like yellow kind of color cave. Now
yeah.
that I'm thinking about it,
Like there
which
was like ruins and caves are
yeah,
two different.
which I guess is like kind of different, but like I don't know, not
Different
that
enough.
different. Um,
It differentiates the between the two. That's all it really needs.
yeah. Uh, I don't really know where to put this, but I guess we'll talk about it here. The there are so many references in this game to other games. I don't know how
Yeah.
many you can really catch, but essentially, like there are references to Skyrim in this game. There are
Mhm.
references to Legend of Zelda in this game. There are references to like Final Fantasy in this game. There are references to like other JRPGs in this game.
Yeah.
Um, like there's so many different things. It's so silly that I don't know. Nothing is like direct, but it's all just kind of like wink, wink,
Well,
nudge, nudge.
references. That's what references are.
I mean, yeah, but there are definitely more. There are definitely times where indie games like this will make it like much more overt. I think the most overt one is that
Yeah.
uh like your name is Hero and you don't talk and you have a glowing blue ball as a
Yeah.
companion.
Mhm.
Where do you think you've heard that from? I don't know.
And also you're the dragon blood.
Yeah, you're the dragon blood, which is pretty overt for Skyrim, but
You slay dragons, you know.
yeah, you're
It's fine.
literally made to kill dragons. Yeah, so like a lot of silliness in this
Definitely not
game.
Skyrim, I promise.
Yeah, definitely not. I guess there aren't like dragon shouts in this game, so that's something.
No, but as a dragon blood, you can learn magic. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there. I mean, in Skyrim, there are whole like colleges of wizards that can learn magic
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
but,
don't have
you know,
dragon blood.
it's it's like regular cats can't learn magic, but because you're a dragon blood, you can. I mean, there are the wizards, I
I was
guess,
gonna
but,
say, but there are the wizards
I don't
that
know.
all have the exact same wizard model, as do the enemy wizards that all have the exact same wizard model, which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't worry about that.
Don't
It
worry about it.
won't bother you, I promise.
It's just a
Um,
wizard. Kick its ass.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of explode to them because their magic does a bajillion damage.
Yeah, you gotta dodge them first and then hit them
Listen,
because
man,
they're weak to melee.
I like to do dumb things, and most of those dumb things include hit enemy. So yeah, so there, duh.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right.
Um, the music in this game I can only describe as like the first area in Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, pretty much the whole time. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't really
it's
change. It gets kind of mysterious through various parts whenever you're like talking about
whenever you're
story.
talking to the story or talking to the villain, etc.
Yeah. Um, not really a lot here to talk about. It's like
No, the music's kind of meh.
literally get a handful of tracks. I guess it
Just like
does like
just classic RPG music,
yeah, but
basically.
I assume you found yourself like watching or listening to other things while playing this game.
Yeah. I
Um,
actually like turned it down because it was very loud.
yeah, I like I said, I played this on my Switch, so it was basically muted most of the time that I was playing, and
Mhm.
I was just like watching TV or like sitting there, hanging out, and I wasn't listening to anything.
Yeah.
uh, so I don't know that I don't really want to give it too many positive points. I guess I can say like it's fine, but it's not really memorable. It's not really exceptional. It's not really bad. It's just kind of like
It's just there.
4.5 out of 10 for the music. I don't,
Yeah.
like it's not exceptional. It's not great. I don't really want to, there's not really much to talk about with it.
Little less than average.
Yeah, a little less than average, which, is kind of unfortunate. Um, but like, I think I want to like tell myself, I don't know how there's is probably absolutely no truth in what I'm saying. Um, but like this game really, it looks like it was put together in like a games jam. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know what a game
Yeah.
jam is? Where
Mhm.
where it's like, oh, you have to make a full video game from start to finish in a
In
month
like
or
yeah, in
like
like a
whatever
month
it
or,
is. Like a
few weeks.
3 week period. I don't know, whatever it is.
Which honestly, it might have been.
Yeah, I mean it might have been it's made in Unity, which is like an extremely accessible engine.
Yeah.
It's not made in any like proprietary engine. It's not in Unreal. It's not in like any of these other things. Unity, it's extremely accessible for anyone who wants. I mean, like who what is the other game like? Hollow Knight is made in Unity.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of other games that are made in Unity, but that are diverse and different from each other.
Mhm.
So like it's not a point against it. I'm just saying like it was made it looks like it was made fairly hastily, and there's a lot of um like pieces that don't really they don't really shine if you kind of look too closely.
Yeah.
um which is really unfortunate because I enjoy this game a lot.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
um but like music is
You know.
definitely one of those sections where it kind of suffers a little bit. It gets pretty samey. So
Mhm.
yeah, oh well.
Oh, well.
um shall we talk about all of the
Game
different moving parts?
Yeah, there's not
Quite a few,
really
actually.
yeah.
So you got your main character who is our
Mhm.
silent protagonist. He's a cat. He has a
Of course.
sword, and he's the dragon blood, which obviously we'll talk about that in the story later. But he can equip a hat, a helmet, or
Hat.
hat, or whatever it is. He can equip a chest plate, and then he can equip a weapon. So you have 3 equipment slots.
Yeah.
Great. And
I
then you
mean,
have spells.
you got magic. You have like 4 spell slots. Um, you've got
Yeah, you
of
have
course,
you have
you have your
four
different
spell slots that
stats.
you can use, and then there are 7 total magics. Which, I'm be honest, I used like 2, maybe 3 at most.
I used 3. Well, 4, because I got the healing one and then found out how bad it was and then, like, didn't use it that much.
It's
I used
okay.
I used ice, lightning, and fire.
Yeah, I used ice and fire because I just like at the beginning I just like absolutely spammed the crap out of like leveling it up because it was super cheap.
Yeah.
Um,
Because fire also like lowers the defense of the enemies.
yeah. So you can
And
just
lights them on
hit.
fire. You can hit harder, bonk. But yeah,
I'm
you got
it's looking at the healing skill. I thought that it was like it's actually way worse
yeah,
than you think it is. Like it's
yep.
pretty bad when you're playing a game. It doesn't feel very good because it heals you for like 40
Level
health.
one, level one heals you for 15.
Yeah, and so it's
Level
it's
3 heals you for 55.
yeah. Well, okay, so it's actually the formula is 15 plus in brackets 20 times in an additional pair of brackets level minus 1. And so
Mm,
it's like let's say you're level 20, right? So it's level 20 minus 1, so it's 19. So 19 times 20, and that's, some large number. But it can't be, right? Cuz like
mm-mm.
there's no way that this is true cuz it doesn't multiply it by 20 cuz it heals you for
Nope.
like it heals you
Uh,
for like
it probably means not your level. Probably means the level of the spell.
oh yeah. You're probably right. Oh shoot. Hmm.
So
So if
like
it's level 1, oh my god, you're right. You have to be
level
right because
1,
it's level 1 is 1 minus 1, so
15,
it's 0. 0 times 20 is 0, which makes 15. That's
15.
hilarious. Oh my god. So
So at level 3, it would be
it adds
uh
20 healing per level? That's horrible. Oh my
yeah,
god.
that's terrible. That's
That it doesn't
actual dog
scale
shit.
with your magic at all.
Mm-mm.
It let me click on this fire thing cuz the fire thing does pretty good. Um
Yeah, it does.
cuz it's spell power times 100% plus 10 times the spell level minus 1. So it's like, okay, so if you have like a level 5 spell, it's like uh
10 times 4.
it does a lot.
Yeah,
um it looks like it multiplies the spell power by itself, which is like interesting because if you have a lot of spell
yeah,
power, I mean, by the end of it, I was doing like 500 damage with one
yeah.
fireball. So
Mhm.
it's pretty good as long as it's
Yeah, it
not
was
level 1. It's going to be doing fine, basically.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, like the healing spell is actual trash. Don't use it
yeah, pretty much never. It costs a bajillion mana, which you can't like raise otherwise without or
without hitting enemies.
well, you can't like raise the maximum.
Oh,
It's
the maximum. No, that you have to level up for that.
yeah, exactly. And so you are always going to be spending all of your mana to use the heal. And so
Yeah,
if you heal
which
yourself
doesn't
for
feel
like
much.
the tiniest tiny bit, and then like you
Don't
like
have any
run in to
mana.
hit them again to get your mana back, you're just gonna die. Probably.
Yeah,
Like you are 100% better off always just using like freeze and then fire or lightning because
mhm.
like freeze makes everybody in the game do nothing. They become like
They became slow.
well, yeah, they become slow, but like the slow is so much that you just there's
You can
nobody's a
just
threat.
yeah, you can just wail on them.
Yeah, nobody's a threat ever. Um I kind of I wanted to do a run in this game where it was like as much magic as possible without
Oh
like
yeah, I was just switching between like the equipment for whatever enemies I had to deal with
oh
at the
really?
time. Yeah, you because like some because I think it's random
What do you
what
mean?
what gear you get in chests.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like I got some like really good like magic stuff and then like a few good like melee stat stuff.
Mhm.
And it's like okay, so I can just like pump my magic up with these pieces of gear, and then whenever I needed to kill the ones that were weak to magic, I'd just do that.
Right.
And just destroy them.
I mean,
And then
like
vice versa whenever the things are weak to melee.
Like if you ask me, you probably don't need to ever use any magic stuff like that increases your magic, because I remember the first time I played, I used stuff that lowered my magic and increased my attack by a ton, like the ninja stuff.
Yeah,
Like
ninja
I
stuff.
use that like pretty much exclusively, right?
Mhm.
This time I'm like, I'm gonna do magic, and so I did magic, and like you are so bottlenecked by the amount of mana that you have. You run out of like, you use like 3 fires and you're out of spells, right?
Yeah.
You have to hit. Your hits do nothing, so you're getting your mana back, and like then you can use like your spells again. But the thing is if you just use attack damage, just your melee regular like hitting stuff,
Yeah.
and then like you still have the same amount of mana as if you didn't, right? So you just like use the slow, and then you use the berserk, and then you just hit them, or like use the slow and then you use the fire and then you hit them, because they have like no defense. They die really, really fast. It's like there's an actual correct, better way. I can't even say like, oh, one way is better than the other. No, like
No, I mean,
melee damage is way better than magic, which is unfortunate because I like diversity.
Yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, so the other spells, the other things to note about the spells is that like any character or monster or whatever that uses magic or has an ability is a spell that you can learn, right?
Yeah, I figured. There was like 2 of them that I didn't learn.
Yeah, it was probably the little like square spiky thing.
Oh, that like the spike trap.
Yeah, and then which is
I
called literal
absolutely-
cat trap.
I hate those enemies.
Yeah, they're really annoying. Well, it's because like they put the cat trap on when they're right on top of you, and then it slows you, and it makes it so you can't attack, and it just deals damage just like over time.
Straight up.
Which is interesting because like if it does the same to enemies, that might be neat. Because like then you can just like run up to a dragon or whoever you're fighting and like drop the trap, and then like you just win the game because you can just wail on them. Like I don't, whatever. Okay.
If it works the same.
I didn't learn that one either, but I also didn't really look for it.
I didn't either.
I looked for the other ones, which was the berserk.
I know I wanted the ice. I was looking for that because once I got frozen by one of the little like ice dragon whelp things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need this.
You're like, I want that in my life.
I need this.
Yeah, it's interesting
because I figured there was like, because the lightning is side to side, and then
I was gonna say that they all have different directions.
Yeah, the fire is in a circle, and then the ice is up and down. And I was like, I'm looking for the up and down.
Yeah, like, and then there's the in an X pattern.
Yeah, the like arcane or whatever.
Yeah, which I guess like I didn't find that one. I didn't really look for it, but I guess it has the most damage.
I didn't even look for it.
I
mean, I found it, but like I didn't grab it, even though it was like 50. All of its level 1 spells are 50 coins, but I didn't really care.
Yeah, I think honestly,
once I got flight, I just like finished the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, it's strange. We'll talk about the story and how like it kind of works, in a second. Yeah, so whenever you start this game, they sort of run you through all of the mechanics where it's like, hitting gives you mana back, and then you have spells. Oh, you can learn spells from this guy, and like each wizard teaches you a different spell, and you can level up your spells at any one of the wizards for any spell. You don't have to like return to it or whatever. That's all well and good. And then you get sent into a dungeon for a little side quest, and but they all pretty much have like one regular chest.
One regular chest, at least.
Yeah. But technically, I think the game wants your main source of equipment to be from the blacksmith girl.
Yeah.
You can like go in there and like buy a brown chest for 50 gold, and it will give you like a copy of one of the brown chest items, right?
Mhm.
And if you get a copy, like let's say you have like regular bandit sword, right? Just like the basic sword that you start with.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you randomly roll that again, um, it'll level it up, which will make it stronger.
Yeah.
Um, so like I think that that's a really interesting thing. Like I think it's really neat that if it gives this sort of like I don't know, almost roguelite uh aspect.
Mechanic, yeah.
Yeah. That allows you to like if you get pretty lucky, you can get a couple of copies of things that will give you like more strength,
Mhm.
right? Which is pretty cool. Um Another really interesting aspect of the game is that the all of the equipment levels correspond to the levels of the dungeon.
Yeah.
So if you're level 5 and you go into a level 40 dungeon and you dip dodge dive and dodge your way to the chest and open it, all of a sudden you're opening a level 40 chest that's going to give you like higher level gear.
Yeah. And um and this conversely, the chest that you get from the blacksmith is like just level 1 stuff.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's almost never worth opening,
Yeah,
like unless
'cause
you
it's
want to sit there and spam
unfortunate.
it.
Yeah, because it's unfortunate because it's like I would have thought it would be based on your level.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like if it was based on your
Which
level, it'd be worth it.
it yeah, and it's not, so it kinda
It's never,
sucks. So it's
never,
like
never that way.
just just keep your money for whatever reason.
Leveling up spells, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Um,
Like,
which I mean, usually aren't worth it. I think the only one that's really worth it is probably the Berserk one, which increases your
yeah.
damage by 50% when you use it, and
Mhm.
then like your melee damage, and then you can upgrade it and it increases the damage by like 10% each time, which is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Because then you
I
can
didn't
like
use
freeze them
that
and
one.
then Berserk and then hit them and then they die in like 3 hits.
Yeah, I didn't use that one. I got it, but I didn't use it.
Yeah. I guess the max level for an equipment is 99, which makes sense
I would
considering.
I would assume so since your max level of yourself can be 99.
Did you get the level 99 sword?
Yeah, of course.
Dragon's Bane? Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Just making sure. Because like you first get it and it's
And it's
trash.
level 1 and you're like, "This fucking sucks.
Well, and it's so
My
stupid.
ranger sword is better than this."
It's so stupid, right? Because she's like, do a quest and I'll increase its power. And so like the quest involves you like running around in a circle and then like
You literally just go to these points on the map, and then one of the points is the lake, and you have to, like, kill a sea monster, which isn't that hard.
yeah, it's
And
like
then,
super easy.
yeah, and it's just like, "Oh, it powers up. Okay, it's level 99 now. It can kill anything."
Pretty
It's like, "Okay,
much.
great."
It has
You don't even
ridiculous
have to
amount of power.
another thing is you don't even have to be on the ground to be in those spots. I just
Yeah,
flew
you
into
just
them,
flew over there. You just fly over there.
and then you just do it again.
Pretty
But
much.
anyway,
Very strange. I don't know how. I'm
um,
not really a fan
you
of
know
that,
you know the
but whatever.
funniest thing about, the equipment? You
Hmm.
know how when it levels up, all the stats get higher, right?
Yeah.
But also,
Oh, like negative stats go
the
lower.
negative stats also go lower.
Yeah.
Like, the number goes higher, but of course, because there's a negative in front of it, it's worse. So it's like, you know did you get the crappy hat?
No. Well, maybe I don't remember.
The crappy hat is like gives you negative of each stat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really
Guess what
funny.
level that was that I got? Or like eventually it leveled up to.
Got like,
It was like a level 30 hat.
yeah, nice,
And it was like negative 72 on each stat.
fantastic,
And it was
actually
like,
fantastic.
what is the point of this? What actually is the point of this?
Um,
Challenge, I guess? I don't know.
There was one
Can
thing
you
I was
beat the
using for a
game with
minute.
only the crappy hat?
Well, I was actually looking into it because like when you beat the game, uh you get the ability to basically do New Game Plus, and
Yeah. Oh,
each
sorry.
New
No,
Game
no.
Plus.
It's Mew game.
Oh, sorry, New Game Plus. And so whenever you do this, you are able to choose a modifier to do like stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I think if you like beat it with all the modifiers, um you get like special armor, which
Mm.
is like kind of awkward. Um it gives you like a bunch of damage, magic, and like a absolute metric fuck ton of armor. So
Yeah.
like good damage, good magic, and then like literally 700 armor, right? Where like
That's
damage
a
and
lot.
magic is like 10, and then 700 armor per piece, which is so much. And we haven't really talked about
Yeah.
armor. Armor is is a stat that you can get that
Yeah.
if you go ahead.
I mean, it's basically as you would think. It's armor. Um. Just it protects your health.
Well, I was gonna say it's actually not really what you think because it's gives you a shield on top of your health
Hmm.
as opposed to like increasing your defense. So like if you get hit a couple of times and get rid of the shield and then you're like still in combat, it won't regenerate until you're out of combat standing still. And
Yeah.
so like you can still just get one shot by
Hmm.
things.
Yep.
There was an item that I found, I don't remember what it was called, that gave like negative X health and plus X armor. And I'm like, why? Isn't this just like wearing nothing? Because like if you get hit
Yeah.
for that much health, it's gonna be like you're still gonna die, like either way, you still
Yeah.
die. I don't understand, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. Um, I want to talk about the golden chests because you can technically buy golden chests in
Yeah.
the
You can.
blacksmiths. Um,
I did manage to buy one of those, and I was as disappointed as I was when I opened the regular ones from the blacksmith.
really?
Well,
Okay.
because it was still level 1,
Oh yeah, I guess that's a good point. Okay, so
which is
uh
fucked up. But.
so the way you can open golden chests is by getting the golden key. And like you were saying before, the golden key might come from the
Key
what is it
Island.
called? The Key Island, but it doesn't. It comes
Literally.
from some place called the Founders Island, which is literally like where you start in the game. Just south of that is this little like crescent shaped island, and you go there, and there's
Mm.
these like cats that are self inserts of the developers that have their names.
Yeah.
And you like talk to them and they're like, hey, you want to get the golden key, right? Well, go do this quest and you can get the golden key, haha. And then you take the quest and it's level 1. And like they're like, why is it level 1? They're like, yeah, it's totally level 1. It'll be super easy for you, don't worry about it. Just go into this cave and fight the monsters and then come out, and if once you clear the area, you will get, bring back the golden key and you can take it with you. And you go over there and the
Seems
cave
legit.
is level 1 question mark.
Oh.
And you go inside and there are chests that are like mimics basically.
Yeah.
And you have to fight them, and if you get hit by them, they deal 999 damage.
Oh, good.
So you have to kill them all without taking damage, and then you get the golden key, and you can open golden chests, which at this
Right.
point, very likely that you have flying or water walking, so you've already beaten like many, many dungeons that you know where the golden chests are. So you just return to them and like open the golden chests, and it gives you like, level 8 and like
Yeah.
level
The low
10,
level
level
stuff,
20.
whatever.
Yeah. And so like these golden items are like literally like 4 times, 6 times, 8 times more stats than just regular items if they're appropriately leveled.
Yeah.
Like the weapon that I was using before I got the level 99 one was called, I think it was the Savior, and it literally had like 36 of every stat. That's it.
Wow.
Which is like pretty good. It's not as good as the Dragon's Bane, obviously, because it's like Dragon's Bane is like it's like plus 200 damage stat, plus 200 damage stat, minus like 60 health or whatever it is.
No, it's like minus 200 health as well.
Yeah, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's you if you're
It's
using
a large number.
if you're using the Dragon's Bane, it's not like the end of the game means nothing to you.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
although
it's
not me dying to the boss several times.
Upon looking at the like new game plus modifiers and like what they expect you to do with the new game plus, I think that the game is technically balanced around the new game plus.
Yeah.
So like the first playthrough is just for like story purposes.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But it's just really interesting. Like I don't know any game that is balanced around a second playthrough.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Cuz like there's not really a single enemy in the game that is like a huge issue. You slow them and you punch them and they die.
Just dodge, yeah.
Yeah, and then you just dodge. I guess we should mention that. Yeah, you get like a Dark Souls-esque dodge where like if you dodge it'll go through everything. No damage.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think it's quite that strong because I think I have taken damage trying to dodge through things.
Yeah.
It's a dodge to get out of the way of the attack.
Yeah, but it's still like
very
it's strong dodge.
Yeah. No stamina or anything.
Right, and you can spam it, which is, whatever. Yeah, so like I guess that's like pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything.
I guess the only thing I want to mention before we move on to the story is like I said, when I first learned about this game, I was watching a speedrun, and the speedrun strat was literally to like finish the tutorial, and once you have like access to your character fully and like you're not restricted by story reasons, you run over to the level 99 like dungeon. If you run over there, there's two of them, right? There's one of them that you can access to the left and one you can access to the right from like your starting location. And you just go in there and you like dodge through and you open up the brown chests in each one and you get these like stupid strong armors or weapons or whatever you happen to get. And that just like pushes, like that just wins you the run, basically. You just like rush through everything and win.
Run. That sounds
it's pretty funny, I think. I don't know I don't know why it is like that. I think that they wanted to do this on purpose for like I don't know, like like if you're good at the game you can get good stuff early, but if you're bad at the game and you get too like you think you're good and you're not, you just will die. But like
there also is another thing to note that you can't open chests if you're in combat.
You can in the dungeons.
No.
Oh, dude, I definitely did it.
I definitely couldn't.
Really? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you because I definitely like dodged around a dragon in the level 99 dungeon and grabbed two chests.
Was he actively attacking you?
Yeah, he was chasing me.
Okay, well, then I don't know because I definitely couldn't open any chests whenever I was being attacked.
Well, there were a couple of dungeons that are like, you can't do anything unless you kill all the enemies. And like, that means you can't leave. You can't open chests. You have to clear the whole area before you can touch anything. And like, those places I couldn't. But in regular dungeons, you definitely could.
I don't know. Whatever. Either way, I just did it. Just played the game.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I think that's about it for like the gameplay. I guess we can talk about like the few You get some. Nah, we'll talk about it in the story. I was gonna say the powers like water walking and flight and
Yeah, they're
stuff like
kind of
that.
story related.
Yeah, it's much more story related. So do you have a grasp on like what the story was, or
Kind
no?
of. Um, I assume it'd be more explained the more side quests you do, kind of, but it's like you start out by like you and your sister on a boat or something, and she gets kidnapped by the big bad,
Mm.
um, and you like shipwreck on shore, and this floating spirit says, "Hey, listen,
Hey, listen.
I can help you get your sister back."
Yeah.
And then the big bad comes out and talks to you and whatever, and it's like, haha,
Haha,
I have
I've
your
got your
sister.
sister. Ha 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 ha. Ha.
Better get stronger and come fight me
Yeah,
for
and
her.
then so you're like, all right, I've got a goal. I gotta go like learn about how to be a dragon blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like you go through and like it's pretty generic. Like, oh, here's how the game works.
Yeah, and you go do some side quests to level up
Yeah,
to
they
go to
pretty
the
much
next area.
explicitly tell you like you will get to a point where the enemies are too strong. Do side quests,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny, but
Yeah, I mean
whatever.
there are like different areas that uh the enemies are stronger, but
I
whatever.
think I don't know. I don't know about you. What level did you finish the game?
Like 52 or something.
Yeah, I think I finished it at 48, but like I was definitely like 40, like 3 when I started the final boss because he just gives like
Yeah.
a metric, like ass ton of experience.
Yeah,
So
every like this his second phase.
yeah,
Um
um, yeah. So you like meet the king of the land, and you defeat a dragon that attacks while you're trying to meet the king of the land. And
mhm.
then the big bad like tells you that he has this plan that he's gonna like destroy the world or whatever, and it's like, oh, I've got your sister, I'm gonna you know do some bad stuff to her, ha ha ha, and come get me, but you have to defeat 3 dragons before you can come get me. And so like you kind of
Go do
go
that.
off to do that. um I think you fight the first dragon like right in the beginning of the game. He just kind of like pops up and you're like, I'm gonna kill it, and then you do.
Yeah, and then you gotta go. Well, the first dragon is one that's attacking the town, and that's when you find out you're dragon blood. And
Right.
then it's the next one where it's like a little bit over to the right, and you just go kill that.
Yeah, you just like walk over. And then because he's like, I have 4 dragons. Ha ha ha. But it's really only 3 dragons because the first dragon doesn't technically count.
Yeah,
Um, I
he's
guess.
there for convenience.
Well, because he doesn't show up later. Like before the very, very end, he like summons all 3 of them, and you have to fight them at once. Which you don't
Mhm.
really have to fight them at once, but you know what I mean. Um,
I mean, just you've got Dragon's Bane at that point. Just cut their heads clean off. Easy peasy.
basically. And so you have to like you defend the town, and then you go and you're like continuing on. You go and I basically just like immediately walked over and like killed the the second dragon without a problem. He was
Yeah.
not even an issue. And then like go through to a few like
Quests.
yeah, a couple of side quests that go through, and it's like, oh, meet the blacksmith. Oh, learn about the blacksmith program that levels up your gear, and do da 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 da. And then you have to go fight the I guess second dragon, we'll say.
Hmm.
But then it's like, oh no, you can't do the second
He's
dragon because
floating over the lake.
he's floating over the lake. How are you gonna get to him? And then for some reason, and by for some reason I mean for story reasons, the Watchtower people are like, oh man, I heard that if you go to this place, they know how to walk on water. And it's like, okay. So
Yeah, it's a little weird.
you like go there, and you talk to the guy, and it's like the governor of that little town, And he's like, "Ah, I'm a pirate. The pirates have
No,
been,
he's or yeah, it's like this monster has been eating all my fish and breaking my boats.
yeah, my
I want to fight
boats.
it.
Yeah, arg." And you're like, "Hey, I'll help you out if you teach me how to walk on water." And he's like, no, go help me do this other thing first. And so you have to like go and like find this guy who I guess is gonna like learn you how to water walk via science instead of magic. And so like
Heresy.
you go through
Can't do that.
his steps and like get some magic items that he definitely doesn't use magic to like give you the ability to water walk.
Yeah,
And then you learn how to walk on water, and like all of a sudden the map opens up because all the rivers that are blocking you off, or the lakes that are blocking you off, and
it's
or,
like the entire ocean.
yeah, the entire ocean that's blocking you off. You can just like run everywhere. Um, I suppose technically at this point you could go get the golden key.
Yeah,
I
pretty
did
much.
not. I got it at the flying, which is later. Uh, but yeah, you can go anywhere you want now, which means like you can go get side quests from every city on the map, basically,
Yeah,
except for like I don't know, a couple of small like mountained off areas. Um,
yeah, I think so. Um, I don't think there's that much that's blocked off
yeah, it's
by
not
not having
really.
a flying.
It's pretty.
The main thing you need the flying for is like basically the end of the game.
Yeah. Uh, so you go and you fight the second dragon, who is an ice dragon. The first dragon was a fire dragon. The second dragon is ice, and so you fight him and you win. You go, oh man, we did it! Congrats! Oh yeah, gotta get stronger. We gotta go find the third dragon. So you go to the watchtowers yet again because you know the people in the watchtowers know everything clearly,
Yeah, yeah.
and they tell you that the third dragon is over there. They point and it like shows you a picture of where it is, which is like I don't know, a couple steps to the right, basically. You run across the river and it's like surrounded by mountains. You're like, oh no, how do we get there? Oh God. And then you like talk to the watchtower again because, you know, they're omniscient. They know everything clearly.
Of course, of course. I mean, they're watchtowers. They see it all.
Yeah, they see it all. And so you talk to them and they're like, oh man, if only you could learn how to fly. And so you got to like look into learning how to fly. And there's a quest in the town right next to the dragon you need to kill.
Mhm.
That's like
Go talk to this bush.
that's like come talk to this bush about flying, and the little like your little spirit friend is like
Why are we talking to a
that's a
bush?
weird quest. Yeah. And so you go do that, and you know, through the couple of quests that he gives you, you learn that
Somehow he
the go ahead.
somehow he's posting to the bulletin board.
Yeah, that
He's
somehow he's posting the
bush.
bulletin board. That he's actually a dragon that's been transformed into a bush like ages ago,
Yeah.
and so he learned how to like make his power of flight, or I guess, um, it's not necessarily him, but it's like the
It was
human peoples that are the old ones,
the old masters.
the old masters, which are suspiciously human shaped.
Yeah.
um, have made the art of flying into a gem, and so you have to go find that.
Yeah, they like crystallize it or something.
Yeah, it's strange, but like whatever. This game is it's already wild. There's MacGuffins everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
um, and so you go do that, and you find the gem. It gets stolen from you by mages. You got to go like punch them in the face to get it back. You do that. It's like it's such a convoluted little section. It feels like they added it just to like pad the time because
Yeah.
like the time between water walking and the time between flying is like 5
Basically
minutes.
non-existent. Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally 5 minutes of game time. So they're like, "Oh, get it stolen from you and you've got to go fight some wizards which die in like 3 sword hits anyway."
Because they're weak as fuck.
Yeah. And
Otherwise, although if they do like start out the battle with their like a nuke, magic nuke, which will kill you if you don't dodge it.
Well, that's like most of the wizard's attacks. Like if you don't dodge
That's what I
their
mean.
hits, you just explode because they deal a lot of
Yeah,
damage.
that's
Um,
what I mean. It's like they start out whatever combat you have with them by nuking you, and then if you don't dodge that, then you just lose.
yeah, I mean, I will
Then
say that
they die because they're weak.
the vast majority of the enemies in this game are actually quite dangerous. Um,
Yeah,
like even some of the starting enemies, like the goats, when if they're higher level than you, they will deal a lot of damage. And
yeah.
like you cannot stand up to them toe to toe taking damage the whole time. You don't have any sustain or anything to heal you other than the really shitty healing spell. Um, I guess the other one of the other attacks does heal you for the damage you deal, but like whatever, you don't get that until you're flying. Um,
Really?
yeah, it's the
There's an
X.
attack that.
It's the X one.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I didn't get
Yeah.
that one.
Um, not really that important. Everything can be trivialized by just like dodging away. So just do that. you know, like whatever. It's not a big deal. Uh yeah, so you get the flying after just like a tiny bit of time, and then you fly over and you can like punch the dragon. This was the point where I went around and got all of my golden chests, and so
Mm,
like my stats like quadrupled.
yeah,
And so my fight with that third dragon was like extremely easy.
mine was too. I didn't get the gold chests, but my fight with the third dragon was way easier than the second one.
Yeah, like stupid easy. Like
Like for
I
some
don't
reason,
know.
when you get the water walking, you're like weirdly underleveled for the second dragon.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, I think you're intentionally underleveled for the most part for almost everything.
Yeah, because they're
In the
like,
main
oh,
story.
you need to power up a bit more before you go fight that dragon.
Yeah, like go do some side quests. Like no, I'm not
It's like,
gonna.
nah,
Um,
just dodge good.
yeah, just 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 get good. And so yes, what else is occurring? You
I don't
kill
know,
the
fight the
dragons.
dragon,
Oh,
then
and then
you
like
go do
Dracoth
some.
like pops up. The bad guy's name is Dracoth. He like pops up and he's like, "Aha! You finally grown strong enough to face me." Ha 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 ha! And you instead of like he's like, "Come face me in the like icy north, whatever it's called. I can't remember the frozen paw, I
Yeah,
believe."
something.
And but instead of doing that, you go talk to your little spirit friend's grandfather, who's
Yeah,
also a spirit.
your spirit is like, oh, we need to get stronger before we face him.
Yeah. Which means we're gonna go do some like lore dumping, and then we go through a couple of like important uh encounters that teach you about the
About the
history
old
of the Dragon
masters.
Bloods and who made them and yada yada yada. And during this time, there's lots of like sort of like meta narrative telling
Yeah,
uh that like kind of break the fourth wall. I want to say it's kind of
s-
weird.
sort of. It's a little weird.
Like I don't really know how to describe it other than like whenever they're talking about like the old masters in game and then they show dialogue by the old masters, they're like
Mhm.
referring to players, like player number blah 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 is doing this, and then they learned how to do this and then that, and it's like describing things that like another player playing the game that you're currently playing would be doing in the past.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, okay, that's weird. And at some point you learn that like one of the people that they're talking about is Dracoth, so he is also a dragon blood technically.
yeah, he is.
And so you're like, oh no, Dracoth is a dragon blood. We have to go confront him because he's using his good powers for evil. Oh, and so you go do that, and he's like, I'm gonna throw my dragons at you, and he throws his
Yeah,
dragons at you. You kill them. I literally like ran away and then fought them one by one, and it was stupid easy because like
I don't know.
if they were
I
easy
like
before, why wouldn't they be easy again?
I dodged their like initial attack, and then you just like stab them.
Yeah. Um And so then the little like tower appears, and when you go in, it's like, this is the point of no return. Save now or else. And so you save.
Also, before, it's like the old masters, they trapped one of them, in the one who created the dragon bloods,
Yeah.
in the zero dimension,
Right.
because he was like, he wasn't willing to seal the dragon bloods away because they were becoming too powerful or something.
Right.
And so they seal him away, and it's like Dracoth is trying to like bring him back.
Yeah, because he's like his master, or he's like sworn to him or something.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, sure. And you go in there and you find out that the spirit friend of yours was actually the what's it called, the minion of Dracoth the whole time. Oh no.
Yeah, and it turns out that your sister wasn't real,
And your sister wasn't
Dracoth's
real.
whole plan was to make you strong enough to like to resurrect the not resurrect, but to like free the old master who was trapped.
Yeah.
Is like,
and this is where it kind of comes apart at the seams, right? Like,
yeah, it's like one of the he has to spill the blood of a very powerful being to like open the
zero dimension.
And
which
then
is
it's
like,
okay,
what?
so come at me then, bro.
Yeah, and so you fight him like right at the entrance of the zero dimension. That's where like the final fight comes down. And like, obviously you win, or whatever, you might not win, but like narratively you win. And he's like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Both of us are strong enough.
Free.
Both of us are strong enough to break the seal or whatever.
Right.
So, and then that happens, and then literally, it like, you see the old master. I forget his name. It's like Aurelius or something.
Yeah,
Arius, or whatever. He like steps out, and then like nothing else happens.
Yeah,
you kind of just like run and exit the zero dimension.
Yeah, because it's like, oh no, the zero dimension is collapsing. Run away.
Oh, get out of here. And then like your spirit's like, well, I hope you forgive me. And then you do, and then it's like, that's it.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, what just happened?
Yeah. And then you like learn that like, that Dracoth was like really close to the old god and blah blah blah. And so I'm like,
they were
like
bonded because like,
right. And so
they
this whole time I'm thinking like, this is going to be a funny story about like a human person in real life who has put clothes on their cat, and like all of this is happening inside the cat's head, and like their like literal pet owner is like trapped in a room for some reason, or left them and closed the door.
That would be,
but like none of this happens. This is all made up in my head. I was like,
that would be funny.
What if you did do that? But instead they were like, nope, we're gonna do some fantasy nonsense that doesn't really work.
There was also like some kind of lore or something where it's like, the dragons were actually originally here first before the old masters came, and then like the dragons were kind and nice and shared their magic with the old masters, and then when the dragons like left their realm or something to come here, like the old masters like didn't want to help them, so like dragon war, they like made the dragon bloods, and I guess the dragon war happened, and etc whatever. And it's just like, so who's the bad guy here?
Yeah, like,
are the old masters the bad guys, or the dragons the bad guys? I don't know.
Right. It's that.
Am I a bad guy?
Saying, like,
am I killing these dragons for no reason? Like,
I don't know.
did I kill that bush guy because, like, why? Why did I do that?
How
Also,
did he
he
get
did actually.
changed into a bush? We'll never know.
He did attack us first. We like helped him to regain his dragon form, and then like he's like,
He's like, ah,
I'll kill you
I'm a
because you guys
dragon.
killed several of my brethren, and it's like, no,
Okay.
I didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Uh,
You
yeah.
you have to kill him, and it's like, okay, well, that happened.
I don't. I
So
don't know. I think the
I don't know.
story
It's
it's
a little weird.
incredibly convoluted. I don't know, like really, what else to feel about it
I
other
mean,
than
maybe
like,
we
what
need
the
to
fuck?
like either play it again and do more side quests to see like what kind of other lore, or like maybe go find all the monuments or something,
Maybe.
because those
Let me
are
click on the
lore,
monuments.
like lore tablets or something basically.
Yeah, they do sort of like tell um a small amount of story each time.
Yeah,
Uh but I don't know, it's just like the the biggest part of this game that works is the gameplay. But like the story
yeah.
doesn't
I
like
mean, it was a pretty like neat story. I mean, it was very simple at the beginning, where it's like, oh, go save your sister, and then it's like, oh, your sister doesn't exist. This was my plan all along.
right.
Like,
I mean,
this was all made up, and like I created everything to it was all an illusion. I created everything to make you stronger so I could spill your blood on the zero dimension. And
well,
it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
well,
like I
I
get
guess.
it. And
But,
simple
it's worth
stories like
it.
that can work, right? Like cuz we've talked before about how
Yeah,
simple
we
stories
have.
can certainly work, but like if you have a twist that doesn't make any fucking sense at the end of the
Yeah,
game, and then the twist that you do doesn't change anything really because you're going to win in the end anyway, like
yeah,
who cares? You know? Like who cares that this guy tricked you to make you come here? You were coming here anyway because you thought that your sister, right, was being taken.
yeah,
And it's like, "Oh, that was my plan this whole time." It's like, "Motherfucker, we know that was your plan either way." I don't understand what the issue here is. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that's not really a twist. That's just like you're hiding the ball.
Hmm.
Um I don't know. I like the more I look at this story, the more I'm like, I don't know. I don't think they really had. I think they just like they had like some idea and they wanted to like make a cute game with cute cat puns, and they're like, oh no, we have to come up with a story. Let's just like kind of wing it, and then they do, and it just kind of doesn't work. I don't know. I thought it worked while I was playing the game, but now that I'm going through it, I'm like, wow,
Yeah, I don't know. It's
this isn't good.
oh
um,
well.
I guess
Maybe
that's just how the
it'll
cookie
be better.
crumbles. I still like the game a lot. I
I
think
still
that
like
it's
the game a
really
lot
good.
too.
Like if I would still recommend this to people and say like
Hmm.
by all means play it through multiple times. It's good. The gameplay is solid. Um like best Dark Souls
Equipment's
game I've
different,
ever played in my life. Like
right?
I would 100% think like if somebody said I want a sort of casual game that's still kind of difficult,
Mm-hmm. This one's perfect
perfect. Absolutely perfect.
because it is kind of difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of
Some
difficult
places
sometimes, but like
I have died several times.
you run in you can like you just have to keep playing it and you'll win eventually, basically.
Yeah.
Um like yeah, basically. I don't know how else to say it other than like the casual players still have the ability to win, but like it's still pretty hard if you're a like a god gamer, you can still like get your ass handed to you if you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Um or like you try to progress too quickly or try to do some speedrun shit and then like a dragon will like walk over and you accidentally get hit by him and you die in one hit and it's like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, okay, shit, okay,
Just
let's try this
perish.
again. um yeah, so it's like I would definitely still recommend it even though the story is like basically nonsense and like the music is whatever, and I'd say that like its biggest selling points are the gameplay and the graphics, really.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest question that we have to answer is are they gonna fix any of this shit in the second game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like that's what we're playing next week.
Yep.
And so we're gonna have to see if they try to fix their story.
Maybe it's a different story. I don't know.
Is it gonna be like the same gameplay with like the armor and all that stuff? They're not gonna like maybe they'll add like a feature here or
Yeah,
there,
maybe they'll like.
and then they like fix up the story and get some like hire an actual writer. Like I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Hope so. We'll see.
I'm
But
hoping.
anyway,
Technically, there's a third game coming out, I
there is a
believe.
third one coming out, and it's like within a month or something.
Yeah, Cat Quest 3. There's a demo, there's a pre-purchase ability. This game plans to unlock in approximately 5 weeks. It's coming August 8th. There is a demo, technically.
Yeah, we could play that, but
no, I'm not. I'll wait for the game to come out, you know.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
But yeah.
What's your score?
You know, I want to give it a higher score, but I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay. I don't know. I think maybe a 6.5. I like maybe a 7. I think I'm gonna go with 7 because
Okay.
like I think the gameplay and not the story, the graphics save it a lot.
They do save it a lot. If the gameplay wasn't so solid, like 5 of these points are basically the gameplay.
Yeah,
Right,
like
for me.
I enjoy the like equipment system. I enjoy the like spells. I enjoyed the because I also use the spells a lot, regardless of like melee being technically better, I guess.
Yeah.
But like I spammed the spells because it's like it's free damage while I'm attacking.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, plus the ice and the fire while you're attacking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Effects. Lightning
yeah, I mean,
doesn't.
you don't need
like,
to do damage with the spells to get really good effects from them.
No, but like it may not have been. I may not have been stacking magic to do the damage of the spells, but like they were still decent damage by themselves.
I agree. But
because it's free while you're attacking, you just dump your mana.
Yeah, basically. And then like by the time you get through one combo, you have all your mana back.
You have your mana back, yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, free stuff.
So
but yeah, 7 out of 10. Not bad.
Dig it. We'll see next week because next week we're playing Cat Quest 2.
Cat Quest 2.
Hopefully it improves upon this formula because yep.
Oh, quick question before we go. Did you play with a controller? Oh no, you are on
absolutely
Switch. Never
controller.
mind.
I don't have a mouse and keyboard for my Switch.
It's actually not bad on the mouse and keyboard.
Oh, did you play it on mouse and keyboard?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I'll play it on mouse and keyboard on
the
spells.
It was you attack, you click your left mouse, and to do the spells you can either do 1, 2, 3, 4, or your right click is your spells, and it's like you hold it and it brings up a menu, and you can go left, right, up, or down for your spells.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's like it was like quick cast basically, and it was like that's
that.
why I was able to use it while I'm attacking, is because I can just
yeah, it's like the LNR keys for controller. So, but all right, well, I think that about wraps it up. There's not much else I want to say.
Nope, I think that's it.
Yeah. Join us next time for Cat Quest 2.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.